Hey, all right, ancient Civ students. Just a short video. I want to give you just a couple quick details about the topic today. And then I want to walk you through a couple quick instructions just because the assignment requires use of a couple resources. And I want to quickly show you those just to clear up any type of confusion. Okay. So, 10 seconds of context. Remember, we're studying Mesopotamia, the land between the two rivers. And remember, there are many different groups that move in and out of the area and take it over. One of those was a king by the name of Hammurabi or Hammurabi, right? However you want to pronounce it, that's fine. So Hammurabi had an empire that consisted of most of Mesopotamia, and that's great. But his big contribution to history was that he made a complete law code. Now, there had been laws before this, right? Clearly, people had laws and they followed them. The difference is Hammurabi collects all of his empire's laws together and he actually carves them on a stone pillar. And there's many, many benefits to that, right? First of all, it makes sure that everyone is treated equally because now the laws are literally written in stone, okay? And so no matter if you have a lot of money or you have no money or whatever, it doesn't matter because the law is right there. Okay. And you can point to it and you can say, hey, here's the law, here's the punishment. Okay. And so there's a lot of equality then, but at least before the law. Also, they can't be changed. Okay. You can't have the king all of a sudden say, well, I don't really like you, so let's give you this punishment. Right? Can't do that. The law and the punishment are right there in stone. Okay. And so there's a lot of other kind of fringe benefits, but I think to me those are kind of the two big ones in terms of what benefit this law code had. And we clearly do the same thing in the modern day, right? We have a very collected law code that's very specific in terms of punishments, and for the most part, I get that there's issues and exceptions, but for the most part, sets up equality before the law. Okay. Now, to complete the assignment, you're really going to want to obviously watch this video, hopefully, but definitely refer to the handout, especially for another topic, a group called the Hittites. They're going to develop the skill of iron making. Okay, the handout gives you probably all the details that you need about them, so I won't touch on them at all. But let me go and show you quickly here what you're going to do in terms of the assignment, because it's a little bit unique in that right in one of the questions there's a couple of resources, and also the resources might be a little bit tougher to use. So let me kind of share here. Okay, so a few questions about Hammurabi, right, and kind of what I touched on there in the video and from the handout. Now, question 4. You need to then compare and contrast the law of Hammurabi with our modern laws here in Michigan. Okay. And you're going to need 4 of each. So you need 4 ways that they're similar, 4 comparisons, 4 contrasts, right? 4 ways that they're different. All right. So a couple of times that we've done an assignment like this, some of you have only given like 1 of each. To get full credit, you need 4 of each. I gave an example. All right. Now you can't use these, but both law codes have punishments for those that break the law. Okay. You might say, well, that's really basic, Mr. Stan. Yeah, it is, but it's a comparison. Okay. So you may need to zero in on kind of general comparisons here, right? You're probably not going to find a comparison like, oh, both law codes said this exact punishment if you kidnap somebody. Okay. Like you won't find that. So get a little more general. What do both law codes say is illegal? What are some punishments that both law codes tend to use? Then there's also contrast. So, like, for instance, Hammurabi's law code has a lot of laws that deal with slavery. Well, we don't have slavery in Michigan, right? It's not allowed. So that's a definite difference, okay? Now, when you go to the resources, let me just show you Hammurabi's law code here, the website. It looks very intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. So this is all just kind of the introduction to it. You can skip all this up here, and you get down here to the code of laws. Now, there are 275 or something. You don't need to read all of them. Okay, skip around, find a few that look interesting. Okay, and use those to then kind of compare or contrast. Um, the other resource, Michigan's Law Code. Um, this one is a little bit more organized, right? It doesn't appear as long as Hammurabi's Law Code, but I will say that if you are looking to get into the details of it, you'll have to click on some of the links, right? So, for instance, um, if you scroll down a little bit, like, okay, we have like driving and alcohol related crimes. Well, if you want to know what the punishment is, then you probably need to click the link, and that will open up another page that will then get you into details about what some of the punishments are. Okay. All right. So it talks a little bit about it, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then it says, all right, you might be charged with a crime. And then here is potential punishments. Okay. So just be aware of the Michigan Law Code. It may require clicking on a few links to kind of see, okay, what exactly does that crime mean? And how would we punish it? All right, in Michigan. Versus, again, Hammurabi's Law Code, where it's all kind of out on one page. Okay. So just be aware of those differences and how to kind of navigate the two resources. All right. Okay, so that was that question I needed to discuss with the resources. Hopefully, you kind of have fun browsing through Hammurabi's Law Code. It's kind of a train wreck, right? I mean, you would never want to live under this law code, but at the same time, it's kind of entertaining to read and see how people were treated and what some of the punishments were a couple thousand years ago.